I'd like to welcome you all to our dedication ceremony for the Donley Center here and the dedication of this beautiful building, and our appreciation from all of us at KidsPeace and the staff and the board and the kids for what you've done to help make this campus better serve kids at KidsPeace and kids everywhere. We're so grateful for you being here, and what you've done is so important and so meaningful. I was having some discussions here earlier with folks about the value of this building and what it has done, the magic that it has done to help this campus. I know most of you are aware that about 400 young people live on this campus. And as we walked around today, it was in my mind about all the life and the activity that was really here going on at this campus, but was somehow invisible because it was in different places. We would have to put young people on buses and take them to 30 miles away to play at a different gym. We had kids, we did have a gym here on campus. It's very, very small. But now you walk around and you can see the 400 kids and the people and the life that goes on in this Donley Center, on this John P. Peter Peace Complex. You can see all the life that's happening here at KidsPeace, and it's so important and it's so meaningful. You walk through the building and you see kids swimming in the one room and children coming to eat in the next room, and board and staff members doing trainings or receptions in the next room. And you walk on into this gymnasium and you see young folks playing basketball or back in the exercise room, getting and learning how to be healthy, and people walking on the tracks up above, and kids learning in the KidsPeace TV studios. And classroom by classroom by classroom, you see young people who need that education service, getting that service they had. This building and this dedication is so important, and it's so meaningful to this campus and all the children we serve today, and the children we continue to serve for the next 120 years. So I welcome you all, and I thank you for what you've done to make this possible. We do have today some very special guests with us, and I'd like to introduce the folks on the podium, if I may. At the far end here is the Vice Chairman of the Board of Directors of KidsPeace, Mr. John Chapelier. Next, and if you'll, okay. Next to John is the retired President and CEO, Mr. John Peter. Next to John Peter is Mrs. Inez Donley, an honorary board member of KidsPeace. And next to her, as I almost always see him next to her, Mr. Ed Donley. And to my right, we have some of our KidsPeace kids representatives, so to speak. We call them kids, but they're very mature young people, and we hope we mean that. And we have on my right, who I had the pleasure of having lunch with, was Countess. Next to her is Madison. And next to Madison is Stephanie. And it would be a shame to miss some very important kids who are a big part of this, and that is our KidsPeace hand choir on the right over here. And their select students are chosen for their great ability and talent from our William Penn School and from our Donley Center schools. So thank you all very much for your part in this. I'd like to share with you all that to build this building, it took a lot of time and effort. It also took a lot of money. And I can tell you that among the folks in this room, 109 donors, over 100 people gave to the campaign to make this building possible. They gave very, very generously. it's very moving to see what people have given in terms of amount and in terms of time and in terms of love and caring to make this facility possible. And it makes it all that much more meaningful. So of those 109 people, I can tell you that over $2 million was raised to make this Donley Center possible. That's an impressive amount. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, if there's anyone out there, it's not too late to help out if you'd like to do that. Also, I want to thank all the campaign donors, the board members, the staff, the friends in the community, all of those who've helped out in making this possible. There were also some very talented people who had a big part in the physical construction of this and the concept of this. The Spielman Farmer Architects and the Rosetto Construction Management Company both were involved, and it is an award-winning design and construction, and they should be honored for their part in this whole this whole wonderful complex. Also, the project manager, Frank Buckbald, and also Neil Harvey, the construction supervisor. We appreciate all that you've done and all the contractors who helped out in putting this together. And with that, I could go on and on all day about all who have helped and how meaningful it is and how important it is with this building. But I think there's others who could say those words more articulately and more meaningful than I. And with that, let's kick off our ceremony here with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to ask Countess to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Countess. And as in all of what we do, the kids are not just an important part of what we do, they are what we do. And another representative from our KidsPeace kids is Madison, who's going to sing for us the Star Spangled Banner. Madison?
So proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, when you need talent, you know where to go, huh? Thank you, Madison. Thank you, Countess. When you need good architects, you know where to go. When you need good craftsmen, when you know where to go. When you need a lesson on vision and inspiration, you know where to go to. There's a man whose vision this was, to have this facility, to have this complex, to have this level of organization for KidsPeace. And we are so grateful that he flew up here from Florida just to be with us here today. And so we're going to ask for a few words of inspiration from our retired president and CEO, Mr. John P. Peter. John, can you come up, please?
Thank you very much, CT. When you need inspiration, as we just had illustrated to us, you can usually turn to the kids at KidsPeace and find the source of it. I remember some 27 years ago, shortly after I came, turning to a volunteer and saying, how is it that you, who have such a very busy schedule and life, find time to volunteer at KidsPeace? And the response was, I'm fascinated with KidsPeace. I can't not be involved. To me, it represents the very worst of humanity and the very best of humanity. At KidsPeace, I see the pain and suffering that children go through, often injured, abandoned, abused, disturbed. And at the same time, I see a dedicated staff working, sacrificing every day, giving more than their time, giving them their very souls to help these youth. And I see those same youth leave here with confidence and courage to walk forward and take their role in life, transformed by their experience. Jacob Bronowski, the noted anthropologist, traced the roots of human civilization back to the early days when families often lost their adult members, and other members of the community had to take up the role of providing care and support because the parents were either ill or gone or unable to do so. What KidsPeace does, and why I always found it so challenging and so really at the very core of human life, is that we take up that same function and same role as early civilizations. When I was here at the dedication, I told the story of being in Israel and going to the Holocaust Museum. And not because I really wanted that tour, because to see those grim visages on those walls casts not only a shadow on human nature, but a shadow on the very face of God. And outside of that museum, I saw a sculpture of some youth and their director from a children's home in Poland, where the director decided, as a Gentile, decided to not abandon the youth as they were taken off to the concentration camps, but in fact to go with them and to die with them. Not that the story wasn't moving, but it was the visage on those faces that every direct staff member in this organization has seen 1,000 times on the faces of those who enter here. And unlike that sculpture, see the confidence when they leave here and take their position in the world. What's great about this institution is the richness of its staff and the wonder they can work with the lives of the youth who are here, and the willingness of those youth to wrestle with their own lives and come out victorious. And this building is a tool for that staff and for those youth to work that very magic in their lives again and again in the days and the years to come. That's why I'm proud to be here today and proud to have been associated with this staff and with the kids it serves. Thank you.
Thank you, John Peter. Thank you for those remarks, for being here with us today, and for all you've done over the years. We're also very grateful to you. And next I'd like to introduce a fellow who's the vice chairman of the board to talk a bit about what this campaign meant and what KidsPeace means in a top leadership role with this organization. And with that, I'd like to welcome up Mr. John Chapelier. John?
Good afternoon. It's a very real and a very great pleasure on behalf of the KidsPeace Board of Directors to be able to stand here today to welcome all of you, to thank each and every one of our individual donors, and to show off this wonderful facility. What a day. KidsPeace is an amazing facility, thanks in no small measure to John Peter. When John joined KidsPeace in the mid-1970s, it was a much different organization. It was generating about $1 million of revenue annually. When he left 25 years later, he retired from an organization that was doing over $100 million annually. And it truly was a very different organization. Yes, still treating kids in crisis and the same kids that had always been treated, but the scope had been broadened, and so many more children were being brought in for treatment and were being helped by KidsPeace. Very different problems and a very different organization. And without John's leadership and vision, we would have a much different, smaller organization helping many, many fewer kids. John, we do thank you. At lunch today, I talked about how each of us as individuals have only a finite amount of time and talent that we can give, and how therefore it is important that each of us spend our time and talents wisely. Not surprisingly, I then explained how KidsPeace was the wisest choice that could be made in that regard. Well, there's an exception to every rule. Not, of course, to the rule about giving to KidsPeace, but there is an exception to the rule about each of us seeming to have a finite amount of time and talent to give. Inez and Ed Donley clearly appear to be the exception to that rule. The Donleys seem to have an inexhaustible amount of time and energy and caring to devote to those organizations that are worthy of their interest. We have all heard of the many good works that the Donleys have been responsible for. What I have not heard of are any good works which they have not taken an interest in. We want to thank you both so much for all that you have done for kids, for KidsPeace, and for our community. Now, inasmuch as I am unprepared to sing a song without accompaniment, even of one note, as opposed to our young friend's ability to sing the Star-Spangled Banner alone, since I'm not prepared to do that, I think it would be appropriate at this time to offer Inez and Ed a chance to express a rebuttal. It's up to you.
Well, there's always something to be thankful for. John didn't sing.
But he can't either.
It's often said, I've heard in church, that the pews in the front of the church are empty because the sinners prefer to stay in the back pews. Now, I notice that Jackson Eaton is in the back pew, But the rest of the seating arrangement is a mystery, because I thought that there were no centers at KidsPeace. Here we are. I want to say a word about Madison first. The vibrancy with which he sang the Star-Spangled Banner was just marvelous. His name is Madison. It could have been Washington, Lincoln, Madison, and Jefferson all together. Let's give another round of applause to Madison. And let me comment also about the compassion clearly visible in the comments that John Peter made. He created the spirit of this organization. It will survive his life, and it will survive the lives of all of us. There's no way that we can adequately express our thanks to him. But let's say once again, thank you, John. It's called a dedication ceremony on the program that I have, here to dedicate a building. That shrinks in significance when you think that KidsPeace has been for over 100 years dedicated to dedication to thousands upon thousands of children who've been cared for during all these decades that this organization has existed and has contributed to the well-being of children. And the thought that is in my mind these days, these troubled days in America, how sad it is that there are so many people in the world, many of them congregating apparently in Afghanistan, but elsewhere in the world, who hate America. If they could only understand, only grasp the compassion, the commitment, the love that exists in an organization such as KidsPeace and many, many other organizations throughout this nation, they would be converted from the evil influences that are causing them to do such terrible things. Perhaps some way that the love and spirit that's been so significant in the century-plus years of KidsPeace life, perhaps we can hope that it would flow out from this place at this time and influence other human beings in these troubled days. Inez, are you going to say something?
I leave it all to you.
That's not the way it is in our kitchen at home. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Ed and Inez. What a truly marvelous people you are. So kind and generous and enthusiastic about causes like KidsPeace and all over the world, and we are grateful to you too, so much. Now, as Countess did a great job, and Madison, we go again to our KidsPeace kids to help us out, and we wanted to get some comments from one of our kids, Stephanie, on on words of appreciation from her and the way in her words. Stephanie, would you please come up and say a few words?
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I am a resident at the Betsy Ross House in the Patriot Center. Myself, Countess, and Madison and I are only two of many other residents in KidsPeace that utilize the Donley Therapeutic Education Center every day. Ever since we were provided with this building, we have had the opportunity of forming several different groups which give us a chance to positively interact with our fellow peers while being physically active and working on our self-esteem. This gym is used for many different activities, such as the boys and girls teams, basketball teams, which we are shortly starting, movies that we frequently get together to watch, center dances, and the upper track for our running commitments, the weight room for our workout groups, and many other activities that the gym enables us to have. The Donley Therapeutic Education Center has given an incentive for my peers and I to work hard and do well on our everyday treatment, so that we may be eligible to participate in new programs. We are planning on using the stage for plays, drama, and working on performing the fine arts. This will give us a chance to improve on our teamwork and to brighten our horizons. On the behalf of my peers and I, thank you. This has been and will be beneficial to us and all the other children coming to KidsPeace. Thank you.
Okay, and before the ribbon cutting, we're going to have another musical performance from our KidsPeace hand chime choir. Will you come out now, please? Again, these young folks attend the Donley Center School and the William Penn School. And, of course, they live here with us at KidsPeace. Okay, and here they are, the KidsPeace hand chime choir.
Good afternoon. Our first piece will be Beethoven's Ode to Joy. The theme is from his Ninth Symphony. It is our signature piece, and we hope you enjoy it.
This piece will be conducted by our student conductor, Del. Thanks.
in remembrance of those who suffered a loss in September 11th, and in honor of those who continue to fight for our freedom. Our next song will be America the Beautiful. Please join us in singing this time, please. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crowd thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
The KidsPeace Hand Chime Choir, ladies and gentlemen. And Countess and Madison and Stephanie, thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to ask our distinguished guests to come up, and we're going to do the ribbon cutting here and conclude our ceremonies, after which there will be tours and refreshments hosted by the kids, by the way. So if we can ask our guests to come up and cut the ribbon, please. Okay, now we'll have some kids available to do the tours and welcome you all to go through the building. Where can they meet? Where can folks who are interested in getting a tour meet? In the lobby. And Kimberly, you'll help them out. Will you raise your hand, there, Kimberly, so you can? Okay. And with that, thank you all again for coming today. It's been a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you. Hey, great job, Stephanie. Great job. Great job, Madison. Wonderful job.
Yo, Stephanie.